47 Weeks, Life and Learnings of a Dietetic Intern. Hey everyone, welcome to 47 Weeks. It's week 7 and I did my first admin rotation. Central Food Service is a lot more fast-paced than the rehab center. There's a huge operation with many staff that are in charge of very different things. The dish room, tray service, so making of the food trays, and there's many employees, 70 to 100 to oversee. I spent some time on the beltline. I got to be with all of the different stations, so I got to see the person that starts the beltline and the person that puts on the desserts. And I was also a checker, so the last person on the beltline gets to make sure that all the food on the tray is the correct order and it's not missing anything. And I was really happy. I caught 2 items that were missing off a tray. There's a pot room where someone's washing dishes 12 hours a day. And there's also a nourishment center, so somebody that's putting together all the supplements, the almond milks, the soy milks, and prepping that for the patient trays. I got to tag along on a kitchen tour with Mount students, and that was really cool. I also told them about the blog if anyone was interested in applying for internship, and their instructor, who knew my last preceptor, told me that she had heard about the blog and said that it was really cool and told them all to watch it. It's so nice that people are hearing about it. I hope one of you is watching this. I learned that food service supervisors work really hard. There's a lot of things to do. Like I said, a lot of people that are there, so staffing takes up a lot of time, dealing with staff complaints, schedule changes, and people calling in sick when they have to figure out how people are going to continue eating 3 meals a day every day. One day there was 5 staff members that called in sick, so they were scrambling to try to get that covered. So this week I did some interviews with one of the supervisors. It's really cool. I got to be one of those people sitting in there and asking questions, and we got to alternate, and that was really fun. And I also called a bunch of other individuals to set up interviews for next week. One of my preceptors has this basket full of candy right in front of me as I sit on her desk, and it just kept staring at me every morning. And as we know, if there's food right in front of you, you're more likely to eat it. So we might have had some stuff. I actually had to move the basket because I probably would have eaten more. One of the supervisors told me a story of how someone she knew got locked in one of those big fridges, commercial fridges, for 30 minutes. They were okay, but they definitely had PTSD afterwards, so that really didn't help, especially because I watched an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die where someone dies in a freezer, so I'm a little afraid of them. The interns and I agreed to have monthly potlucks. We're gonna have a different theme. The first one's Indian next Sunday, so each of us can bring a nice dish and continue sharing all our cool intern stories, because I haven't seen some of them in a while. They're off doing their rotations and we need to all come together and stay connected. Earlier this week, some of the interns and I were looking at a funny picture in the intern office and we were all laughing. It was really funny. A little inappropriate for me to tell you what it was, but it was the highlight of my week. The girls I'm doing the internship with are really awesome. Another learning is that it is really hard to get a job in the hospital. You really have to start down and work your way up, because the positions are first given to internal applicants. It doesn't matter which department you're in. So if you don't have a job within the hospital, even if you're fully qualified, you're most likely not even going to get considered. It's really the reality of today. I also have been learning how the scoring process works for doing the interviews, so it kind of gives me insight into how interns are selected during the internship application season. And last but not least, earlier today, Skylar and I went to a professional development day for the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology, and we got to hear a bunch of great speakers talking about exercise and how exercise as medicine is really pushing to have doctors that are prescribing exercise instead of many drugs, and how exercise prevents so many chronic illnesses, even better than medication. It can be effective for treating depression as well as cancer survivors in improving many things. I imagine their appetite and their recovery. This week's been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next week at the end of my first admin rotation. Sustain your body, sustain your life.